So I think there's a bit of latency lag from the time I see your post. So pardon the lagginess. So my response to the chat group may be a bit slower. So hope you all don't mind. Okay, guys, ready to start? So welcome all the friends, all the new friends, and all the folks from. So we have a friend from Philippines. Thank you for joining in. So looks like everyone settled in, getting comfortable. I hope you guys had your dinner. It's great to have everyone here, and thank you for tuning in to this session and spending this lovely Sunday evening with all of us here. Thanks, bro. So, okay, let me just a few moments to just introduce myself. Okay, show you my face. I'm Aaron. So actually, this work over here is actually my passion. Hey, bro. Hi, Alex. Welcome. So I left banking a year ago to actually pursue my own business interests. So I have great interest in this spiritual development, in developing myself in areas associated with divination, with feng shui, astrology, and stuff like that, unconventional studies. So actually, it led me on a journey on both learning the process of Chinese and Western metaphysics. So for me, my life motto actually revolves around this quote here. So we always have this certain restraints imposed upon us from the environment. So telling us what we should do or what we should not do and this and that. And actually we have to conform to society norms. But I strongly believe that we need to know what's the limit of this and how to actually weigh out the balance between the right and wrong, and then the rest are all actually wisdom to be had. So I learned a bit here and there from the best masters out there, the best practices and the best attitudes of successful people, and all of this actually guided me slowly to improving myself. So every drop of wisdom counts. So what I actually seek to have from each one, everyone from you is to keep an open mind, to to see things in a different perspective, so that you can actually absorb a kind of knowledge or wisdom uh, from from different kind of things. Oh, sorry. Can everyone hear? Hi, Mariana. Hi, Jingjing and Fang Rong. Sorry, I just have to pause here for a while. Is everyone capturing the audio okay? So okay, okay. So let me just continue, So yeah, thanks. Okay, so I started taking interest in metaphysics about 12 years ago. So, and it actually happened in a very unlikely place. It's in the office at work. So I used to work within the fund services space with major big banks like UBS and Credit Suisse and Citibank. So, and during working hours, I find myself zoning out. I find myself needing a break, and then I start to talk to my colleague about zodiac signs, about Western astrology. And I found out that she and I have this common interest in astrology. So I actually wanted to see who is better at this. So we started to challenge each other into a guessing game of what zodiac signs our colleagues, teammates, and our superiors have. So we tried to guess people's based on their character, their behavior, and try to fit in a zodiac sign to suit them. So it was fun, and surprisingly, it was accurate. With our guesses, is about 70% accuracy. So we were just plainly using our intuition. So considering at a point of time we were just beginners, our knowledge actually comes from those random astrology sites. So we're barely touching the surface of the things, but the accuracy I believe that we comes actually comes from tapping into our intuition. So from this we do not need sophisticated personality tests and questionnaire. So we just need some time to observe and feel this person, and we can actually get to know its zodiac sign from there. So later on in the years, I actually found out that the 八字 system is a more robust system, and it actually allows us to chase higher accuracy in terms of finding out someone's personality and the glaring personality traits. So probably in another session, I will do sharing in 八字 if you are interested. And so after that, my colleague and I, we talked a lot about this, like during lunch with other colleagues as well. So the teammates actually noticed this too, and not long after that, we actually were sharing, we're teaching what we know to them, like casually, and they got interested too. So somehow our spiritual journey actually just began like that. So we went ahead and to read up more, take up more classes, watch more YouTube videos, and find out all the what's, whys, and how does actually astrology and the art of destiny, and how the intuition, all these intuitive gifts actually work for us, and how to enhance those gifts. So my journey began there and then. So so today I will be sharing to everyone here some of my experiences along my spiritual journey to give you some idea what this is about. So some of y'all have not known or have barely heard about this in your lifetime. So don't be afraid or don't be fearful. Just keep an open mind and try to view things in a different perspective. So um, the spiritual world is also known as to some as the universe, it's known to some as God. So it can be any term you actually feel comfortable working with. um Sorry, yeah. So I will be sharing with you my brushes with this ancient wisdom, and how it actually feels like the more we know, the more we realize we do not know, because there is a vast knowledge out there for us to learn and to tap on. So I came across this part of this unconventional studies, and many things are still remains a mystery to me. But what I'm certain of is that there are many interpretations in this world of the spirit world. So I actually aim to continue to acquire more and more knowledge. And as always, we keep an open mind and try to absorb all this knowledge so that we can have an easier life. So um, actually, in this session, I will be using the word universe to replace the spiritual world. Actually, in all my courses, I actually use the word universe as well. For those who have not actually begun on their spiritual journey or have not touched on any of these subjects related to unconventional studies, I hope that with this session here, this basic understanding can kickstart your interest to find out more, like how it did for me 12 years back. You could be stepping into an unknown territory tonight. So the wisdom to be had is actually is very amazing, it's limitless, and you can tap on this and you can use this to your advantage. So rest assured that actually it is by no randomness that we are all gathered here. There's no coincidence. The universe, right, I can tell you that is working on us right now and is guiding us to where we are supposed to be at. So your emotions or your thoughts are actually guiding you over here. So I will share more of this part later on the guidance from your inner being, which is your soul, and you will understand why. So I'm actually very honored that I'm actually the one that's passing you this knowledge and this understanding. And so I hope that it can impact your life in one way or another. So, okay, let's moving on to the next slide. Okay, let's get into the main body. So what is the spiritual world? Is it something that you can see or something you can feel or touch? So most people actually know this spiritual world by the term God. I do prefer a more generic term to be used, like the universe, so that we keep things non-religious here. Some people term it angels, the creator. Some people term it source, and some people call it divine. I'm not a Christian, by the way, but what really matters here is that I'm telling you that there is a form of higher being. There's some higher powers, a gigantic mass of energy, and they exist everywhere around us. So you can think of this like a web of satellite which communicates with every being that ever existed. So you can identify it as, say, a gush of wind when you step out of your gate, the drops of dews every morning. There's vibration, there's a lot of energy in everything we see. The birds chirping in the morning, or the frogs croaking at night. So these are things that actually forms our reality. So if you want to actually imagine or visualize how the energy or the vibration looks like, you can refer to, you know, the movie Matrix. So at that part, at the scene where um, Neo actually stepped out with his eyes all hurt, and he stepped out to meet Zion, and all that he could see is actually lights vibrating or light shining onto them. So it's all like all these are energy. So that is how, if you ever visualize, that is how some people actually claim that they see things this way. So, and there's also a few movies like the Avatar and all this stuff, so where they interact with nature and things like that. So the universe is all around us, and it exists since the beginning of time, and it's actually helping us by giving us signs, little signals along the way, and guiding us on this life path of ours. And this is what actually divination relies on. So divination actually decodes the answers or these messages being sent to us to guide us. And through that, one of this divination tool that we can use to decipher the messages is the tarot. So tarot is one such tool. The universe actually does not understand any languages, nor does it communicate with words. So its communication is only through the vibration of energy, like pulses, or like the Morse code that we decipher. So it communicates through nature by transporting or transmitting actually blocks of thought. It is actually non-physical, and it can communicate through us to us through divination tools. So every one of us actually pulsate this block of thought out to the universe all the time, and these thoughts, desires, and emotions is actually radiating out from our body or from our mind. So, and there's this aura that we have around us, and all of this actually affect the things around you. It's very powerful. So this aura radiating from you actually affects the quality of people that surrounds you, the quality of people that is attracted to you, and the emotions that people will make you feel, and the emotions that you exalt. And okay, one thing about the universe is that it doesn't require you to wear something or to go to a specific place to do something. It doesn't require you to do anything even. There are many ways that this energy can be transferred. Some common ways are through prayers, meditation, chanting, and speaking through your subconscious mind, which is your inner being, which I will touch on later, and even being around people with different energy vibrations. The vibration level, the energy can be transferred from people to people. So, for an example, is that have you ever, like, you woke up early in the morning and you felt quite okay? So it's actually a quite a good morning, and you're quite contented, and so out you go to work, and then once you reach the office, you go to the pantry to wash your mug or something, and a fellow colleague inside, already in the pantry, actually smiled and nod his head and greeted you good morning, and you feel all good. Then suddenly, one colleague actually entered the pantry and started telling you how nasty her morning has been, and it's only been like an hour. She's like complaining, hey, the Grab driver came 2 seconds late, and the lift was packed, so she has to wait for the fifth lift to be able to go up to the office, and that she's going to file a complaint to the building management. And you just stand there and nod and smile and be polite, and then when you step out of the pantry, you actually feel quite drained, and you feel quite agitated and you do not know why. So this is one way the energy is being transferred. In other words, you can actually identify this as um, psychic attacks. So there is ways and means to protect yourself from such psychic attacks. This one I will share a little bit later. So okay, let the universe stuff settle for a while. So let's touch on something closer to us, something on a more micro level. So we know our body, we have all these physical senses, like the sense of touch, of hearing, of sight. So our bodies primarily function as the translator of vibrations through these sensors. So our body is actually a very incredible machines to translate energy. For example, you see a tree falling, and the tree falling will create a loud thud. But without the ears to translate it, there will be actually no noise. And what we experience here are blocks of energy being transmitted to us. Our Sorry, I forgot to go on to the next slide. Okay, so as we yeah, so what we experience are actually blocks of energy being transmitted to us, right? So our non-physical consciousness actually accepts this message, and at an unconscious level, we translate this block of message for it to mean something. So this is simply how it works. So as we radiate vibration out, what we radiate every moment of life, we are actually radiating. So what we actually radiate out is will be drawn to us. So this is some kind of universal law that you might heard somewhere. So what is this universal law that is so important here that I'm talking about? So the universe is very fixated on the law of attraction. So everything is actually based on it. So imagine you step back home, you open the door, and then your dogs run towards you, waggling the tail. Your dogs actually show you very ample, warm affection, and so we return that affection in kind. So this is a very pure and innocent exchange of energy. What you give will come back to you, and what you take, you have to give back out again. So here lies the idea of karma as we all know it. Karma is not an unfamiliar subject. And the next thing is that what we need to be aware is here is the manifestation of a thought. And beware that it can actually get caught up in a vicious cycle. We can get caught up in one if we are actually unaware of the situation we are in. And most of the time, it's very difficult to be very clear of where you're standing and your position in some drama. Say, let's say in the office politics, it's very difficult to identify actually where you stand or which side you're on. So it's never easy to be aware of this. And usually, a third party can actually advise better. But this is human nature, so do not worry. Again, we have to keep an open mind to differentiate the good intentions from the bad. And and if you recall at the beginning of the slides, we spoke about keeping an open mind. So an open mind actually see the truth in different things. So do take your time to discern between the true intentions from others, so you can be aware of any vicious cycle or any position that you are in, and take action to step out of it. So when we feel vulnerable, we actually attract thoughts of fear, worry, helplessness. So on one hand, we don't have access, or we are very far away from the thoughts of joy that we actually deserve. We already forgo that part. And when we feel vulnerable, instead we attract people that feel vulnerable too, or we attract people that make us feel vulnerable. So if you stay there too long in this vicious cycle, we will experience physical manifestation. So so what it means is that all these thoughts, it will form, and it will form into a physical thing. So physical things like your illnesses or your graver those incidents like accidents, things like that will happen. So this is actually a simple process of how the thought actually manifests into something that's physical. And when situation like such events or such undesirable ones occur to us, we will end up saying things like, hey, you see, I told you so. I was right to worry, and actually now I averted this just because I worry more, and that actually saved us. So this is actually a vicious cycle that is very difficult to determine, but you have to be extra careful and extra aware of things that you say, things that you think about, because it will manifest. So it's the same if you feel poor, you will be poor or you attract poor people. So trust me, this universe actually tell us a lot of things, but it's still up to us to take action and to snap out of this vicious cycle that has kept us in this loop. So this is the universal law, the law of attraction. Um, Actually, this law isn't taught in schools, right? So, and the closest we had to the law of attraction is probably from Hao Gongming and Newton's third law. So, cause it doesn't make us money, right? Any money, right? So that's why education is not teaching us that. So sadly, that's the reality. We focus way too much on the physical when the non-physical can brings us balance in life. So if you look out in the market these days, actually certain private schools for young kids out there, they are starting or they have already started to teach and focus on the non-physical. Some even teach the kids to use and develop their intuition. For example, the Shichida method has a module on intuition for kids. So actually, as a kid, we are born with great intuitive gifts, like throughout our childhood. But throughout our childhood, we actually focus on other things through education, and we gradually lose touch of it. So like we all know, all babies are actually great swimmers. So you can drop them in the pool and they know the strokes to move about and to float. So but as we grow up, we need swimming teachers to teach us how to swim again. So for us grown-ups, right? Usually we don't act out of our true desires because our societies have rejected the non-physical. Pretty much everything is based on fear, the fear to conform, the fear from breaking the law, and fear to lose face, for example. So in other words, we've been trained to face reality, when in fact actually the reality is nothing but a byproduct of our thoughts and vibration. So this is very important that you understand this. Many teachers actually know this, like teachers like not our teachers lah. The Jesus. So Jesus actually mentioned resist not evil. So what he actually wants to tell us is that when you pay attention to evil, evil will come to influence you. So I'll explain this in a simpler way. So when you try to push something away, your attention is already on the something that you want to push away, which is not what we want, because only the right thought can manifest. So any negative thoughts, we should not allow it to manifest right from the start. It's like in another kind of question asked is, how should we defend against an enemy? So the best way is to by being good and kind towards him. So this is Jesus' idea of resist not evil. So challenge the enemy with kindness, and in return, if I mean challenge the enemy with kindness in return. So if someone actually gets angry with you, you be extra nice to that person, and you can see the result for yourself. So the message here is actually very simple. We focus on what we truly want and only what we truly want. So instead of what we do not want. So your attention should be all on your desire, your goals. This is what the others actually teach you. We always hear this from life coaches. Think positive, think positive. We hear this all the time. But what is specifically the reason? This is what we have been talking about. So here we are talking in greater details how to think instead of uh, think positive. So how to think positively. So the underlying fundamental is that we have covered so far. We acknowledge that the universe has your back. It is always with you. It's always even within you. Within you. So this is very important. Uh, and actually, for the tarot, right? How it fits into all this is that the tarot decodes the messages to advise you how to think, how to feel, and how to act. So it is actually very interesting. I will actually share more on the tarot after. Later on, we'll have a short Kahoot quiz, just to review and recap on the important things. And actually, the winner will actually get a little something in return. So I will include this Kahoot. Later, I will guide you how to log in if some of you haven't experienced it before. And like I said earlier, we are not here solely by chance. We all have something to learn from each other. So after the quiz, then we will talk about how these signals that the universe deliver to us, how we can actually decipher them and bring it to our attention, what the universe is trying to tell us or trying to communicate with us, and what is it that is trying to tell us to ignore also, and how to get through to things through better positive kind of thinking, emotions and actions. So there is actually a messaging system, a WhatsApp, like a WhatsApp group chat group with the universe. So however, this the universe doesn't make this delivery process simple. So the universe is always trying to tell us something, whether is it to actually tell us not to do certain things. So that there's always some form of signals that is being passed on to us. We just need to know where to grab it, where to look to understand it. And there's still much work to be done. So to hone your psychic abilities or to develop your skills on using this communication tool. So we all know what our thoughts are. So almost every minute, your mind is asking yourself some questions. So thinking about something, or visiting somewhere far away, or thinking about what to eat later. There's always thoughts. Your mind is always working on thoughts. It's almost talking to you continuously, like the voice you hear every day. And okay, emotions is no alien as well to us. So it comes in different magnitude, and emotions bring about certain outcomes of how we think and how we act. So depending on how emotionally charged we become. So thoughts and emotions can intertwine, and usually it will end with a certain action. And usually when someone asks us what we are feeling, we don't really have a direct answer to give because emotions is so complex. And sometimes we really don't even know what we are feeling, right? So it's neither great or not too bad. It's actually normal. But what is it? How can we tell what emotions we are feeling now and what kind of thinking we should have to tackle the events coming to us? So the tarot is actually more than capable of giving you these answers. So let's proceed. The underlying principle of what I'm talking about so far is that all this thought carries energy. So a simple fleeting thought has tremendous repercussions. It's all it needs. So a simple thought, it creates and it can form into something physical. If the thought is positive, it's all good. But if you are hungry, say you want to whip up a meal and you think you can, but it turns out bad, that is fine. Because if your thought is, I want to whip up a meal so my family can enjoy the nicest food, then eventually you'll find your way to the best teacher or the best chef out there that can teach you how to cook up this meal. But if the thought is bad, it's going to be going the other way lah. So it's going to be vice versa. And yeah, then we know the outcome lah. So our inner being, this is a new term. Our inner being is tending to all the thoughts and emotions that we are having. So what is inner being? Okay, the inner being here, right, is in other words, is our soul. So our inner being is communicating to us through emotions we feel and persuading us to take certain action to overcome certain obstacles, or the inner being is telling us through emotions on what to reject or what to accept in our life. So let me give you an example here. So this is a true event from a friend. So he is in pursuit of a relationship in love. So it's very simple. He met two lovely ladies. So ladies, both are interested in him. So the first lady, he gets along so well on so many levels. There's a very deep connection, but she's out of his league. Why? Because she's an alien. So for our overseas friend, alien is our local term for hooligan-like behavior from a lady. So the emotion is telling him that the connection is the right one. Um, but what happens? Let's introduce the lady number two. So the other lady, both him and her get along okay. So it's like a so-so kind of connection. And the second lady is prettier, but is also out of his league. But why? Because she's also an alien. No. If because this lady is the real reason is because her dad sits on the board of a huge MNC, and the family doesn't eat at kopitiam and only eats at fanciful restaurants. So when he meets the family, he has to put on a certain front, a certain act. But how long can you maintain that act? So, but the temptation is too great. Like the elevation to the next status level is too great. So the emotion, guidance or the messages here that your inner being is trying to tell you is being ignored. So he eventually he picked the second lady, because of all these physical things. So but the focus here is actually on the non-physical things. His own inner being is being ignored. So over time, your inner being is going to stop communicating with you because your soul is trying to throw you all these warning signs, but you don't heed them. So eventually, it will just close up. So it actually went against his inner being's messages. So this is why there are some people out there that cannot trust their own intuition, nor they can they trust their emotion. So lastly, I'm going to speak a bit about vibration frequency here, to explain certain things. So if you have a good thought, you want to improve, you want to be enlightened. So naturally, you want this thought to manifest, to create something, and then eventually translate to a physical form. But what do you need to know? How does manifestation actually works? So remember here, let's take a simple concept. We can't hear or listen to what's being broadcasted on Class 95 FM if we are tuned in to 91.3. So you understand the concept here, right? So for it to manifest, we need to align ourselves on the right frequency, and yes, to the class 95. So the right frequency is filled with abundance, of feeling free and happy, of feeling secure. So every positive thought is a bit of vibration towards the right frequency. And you may enhance this process with meditation, chanting, prayers, rituals, things like that. And it actually manifests over time. And this tuning in takes time and effort and a lot of discipline. You can do things like yoga as well. So if we are actually on 91.3, we are unhappy, we are questioning like our financial problems or what's wrong going on in our life. So the frequency actually doesn't match. It doesn't tally with what we actually want. Sorry, and no offense to 91.3 listeners. Actually, in fact, my favorite station is 91.3 and also 95 lah. I don't want to offend 95 listeners as well. So okay, moving on. Every emotion we feel is a sign of guidance. This is very important. It's a form of communication to us from our inner being. So we cannot ignore all the emotions that we actually felt. So every emotion we feel is to let us know how well we are doing right now. Are we doing right? Is letting us know what we need to decide to let in and what to reject. So our inner being actually communicates with us. Um, sorry, a second. Yeah, it actually communicates with us while it receives and transmit messages to the universe. So far, we've built in the last how many minutes, several minutes, 20 minutes or so, or 40 minutes. Okay, also a foundation of understanding as we peek into the spiritual world. So we actually can go on for days because there's so much of knowledge and wisdom out there we can talk about. And we touch on how the universe actually communicates through energy and vibration, how impactful we simply focus, if we can simply focus, pay all our attention on the things we want. So we can even achieve actually much more instead of focusing on things we don't want. And also we talk about how our inner being actually communicates with us through thoughts and emotions, and the importance of capturing the intended messages from our inner being. So I mean, if our inner being is trying to tell us something but we can't capture it, is also for no use. Yeah. So okay, now right, let's bring out our phones, and you open your web browser, Safari or Firefox, and you type in kahoot.it. Yeah, so can I get everyone to do this now? It's good. It's going to be a short, fun quiz where it's just short 5 questions where you will pit yourself against other listeners we have here, and so give you a moment. Once you all are okay, just message or just text in the chat group and say that you're okay, you're ready. So once you go to that screen, right, it will actually prompt you to key in a game pin, which I'll provide you in a short while. So kahoot.it. It's not kaboom.it. Don't anyhow put, huh? Okay, I don't know how bad the lag is, but so far no players join. Okay, we got Mike and Ashley. 2%. Okay, we got a win, so we got a winner, is it? So feel free to join in, and then I will kickstart this quiz down here. So this quiz is not something difficult, so I have actually touched on everything, although it's very surface, but this is capturing the highlight or capturing the main point of this sharing session. Okay, we got the what the fox say down here. Is Terry in? Okay, let's just give it some more time, because 6 players only. There is Yeah, there's going to be okay a mini prize at the end for the winner. So let's hope all players actually win. We all get all 5 out of 5. That'll be great. So after this session, with the Kahoot quiz, we will focus on the tarot. So as I mentioned earlier, all these messages from the universe, the inner being communicating with us, we un we will be better equipped to receive these messages if we use the tarot to do so. So the tarot is a very, very simple tool, but it can actually get us a lot of details, a lot of information we need to know in terms of how we think, or how we feel, and what kind of actions we need to take to overcome certain events that's coming in, to overcome certain barriers, that we have or solutions, provide solutions to solving your problems? 7 people? So how the Kahoot works is actually you look at this screen down here. So your handset or your handphone is going to be uh, a, a medium for you to choose the option. So you can see the questions being flashed on Kahoot, and you just select the options accordingly. Okay, 6 people. So I'm just going to start already. Okay, can start. Hey, what's this Xiaoying? What 5 minute? Yeah, you just go kahoot.it, right? Then you put in 388709, and then you just click in. Then you just wait down there. Don't press anything. Okay, what is the price? Don't tell you leh. Okay, I can 7 people. I start already. Too bad. The rest. Okay, let's go. Okay, let's start. So the first question: how does the universe communicates with us? Oh, okay. We got 2 people. Correct. Oh, actually, do you need more time? Okay, what's this? Okay. Do you guys need more time? Because I forgot to factor in the latency lag. If okay so far, you can just text in the group chat. Or time out before you can click. Okay, then wait. Time out before you get. So you actually see the countdown from what? 5 seconds. Okay, wait. Give me a second. I go and change the. Okay, because the latency lag. I really forgot to. Okay, wait. Let me adjust the time limit. Okay, a second. Oops, sorry. Because I put 20 seconds, but then I think the lag is a lot more. Yeah, let me see how I can change this. Oh, I think the time limit I need to put what? 240 seconds enough or not? I think I put 1 minute lah. Sorry give me a second Wow, 2 seconds then time out. Oopsie. Okay, I put 1 minute. This one 1 minute already. Sure confirm enough one. Because I think my connection can't be that bad. Hope so. Touch wood. Okay, I'm starting a new Kahoot. I will flash this thing again. Can y'all see it? You all need to rejoin. That means go back to kahoot.it and key in this number 4868928. Oops. Eh, 4868928. I say just now the the code I typed in wrongly. Don't join other people's quiz. Can see, right? Okay, very good, very good. Okay, you rejoin again. Now how come got 8 people already? Okay, any more? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, I'll just start lah. Okay, I started the quiz. So first question, how does the universe communicates with us? Is it through WhatsApp, or is it through torchlight Morse code, through energy and vibrations, or by email? Wow, if can by email, sure. Then don't need tarot already. Yeah, the quiz start already. I think you can still join in. Wow, is it too easy? Why everyone got correct? Wait, I just type out the game code again. Okay, let's move to the next question. Okay, wow, the score is. Oh yeah, by the way, the faster you answer, the better it is. More you have more score. Although everyone got it correct, Ash is the fastest. Okay, let's move on to the next question. We all radiate vibration. So the quality of all this vibration is determined by what? Is it determined by the amount of hard work we put in, or the virtue of thoughts, our beliefs, and what we pay attention to, or the frequency of prayers only, or how hard and how long we actually think about it? Okay, so we have 6 people that picked the right questions. Okay, there's one friend that likes to pray a lot, and then another one that like to think too much. So let's look at the scores. Okay, Ashley still got the top, and MC, who's MC? Mel and Win Win is catching up, so they actually move up a notch. Mike is Michael. Still got a chance. Okay, let's move on to the next question. So when we radiate energy, we attract what is sent out. So what is this law the universe is actually based on? Is it the Newton's law of gravitation? Is it Archimedes principle? Or is it Ohm's law? Or is it the law of attraction? Wow, 1 minute is a long time. How many players do we have? Thanks. So we got we got two people that pick Newton's law of gravitation. Okay, six of y'all got the correct answer. So let's look at the progress. Well, Mike is second, and Win-Win is on fire from nowhere until third. Answer streak of three. Wow. But MC is still on top. But the top three is quite close. So we are at the fourth question out of five. So when we give our attention to something, we activate the vibration of it. So knowing this, we should think of ways to reject things we don't want. Or should we let the negativity continue to manifest? And that means don't care. Or we focus on what we desire, give it our full attention, or we just give up and adjust the radio to listen to Class 95. So which one would you pick? Wow, win is Terry. Hat tricks, yeah. Wow, this actually took longer than I expected. Okay, six of y'all got the right question, right answer to the question, and one of y'all think of ways to reject things with don't want. So that is one point that we need to take, right? We need to understand is try not to think of things that we want to reject at all. So we just ignore at all. Wow, TW has a streak of four correct answers. Oh, keep it up, So last question we have here. So emotions and thoughts are forms of guidance delivered by your inner being. So what is one tool that you can get an even clearer message? One tool that we use. Just a hint, it's definitely not Internet Explorer. The one I think is still lagging many years ago. Wow, this is exciting. The countdown takes so long. I want to see who win. Okay, everyone got the correct answer. So actually, everyone actually have quite a clear understanding of what we've covered so far. So this quiz is actually just based on how fast you do it, because most of people actually get the right answers. So actually, okay, now we come to the result place. So in third place we have Win-Win. Terry, your hat trick didn't work. Mike, Mike in second place, and then first place is MC. So who's MC? So Yang, the what? Yang and Mel is fourth and fifth. Okay, good job, everyone. So let me. Who's MC? Oh, Mariana. Wow, you're the best student, really. Congrats. Later I'll contact you. Okay, so the price later I contact you first. Congrats. Okay, so let's move back to the main point, because I think we sorry like we take too much of your time. Okay, let's go to the main gist. So okay, what is actually the tarot? So actually for centuries, right, tarot has been used actually 1 century lah. Before that, tarot is just used as a playing card, and then it has been used as a means to illuminate our subconscious mind and actually reveal deeper truths, or the upcoming. It's not a prediction tool, by the way. It is telling us what to expect, or how to gear ourselves up, so that we know certain events coming and how to overcome or circumvent it. So for me, the power of tarot, right, is actually twofold. So on one hand is the visual imagery of the tarot deck, and it speaks directly to our human mind. So like I can see here, right? Yeah, this is the Ace of Wands, of the Tarot of the Divine deck. So actually, the image actually tells you certain things, certain interpretations. So both are Ace of Wands, and the visual and the symbolic language, right, actually creates a shift in consciousness from the intellect to intuition. What this means is actually we are using our intuition for the other side of things. So with the tarot, right, we can learn to cast our nets, right, to the other side. That means we can tap on the intuition with the other side. So on top of the visual imagery here, we can use the tarot to understand or embrace the universe messages even better. So by centering ourselves, opening up ourselves to receive all these messages from the universe, we can actually create an energy release that allows the universe to actually illustrate to us um, things that we haven't seen or we haven't felt. So, okay, we must be clear about this. So, like I mentioned earlier, right, the tarot does not predict future events per se. Instead, right, what it does is it reveals your current path and the current direction, as well as possible outcomes that will result if any action you take or no action is taken. So you actually often has the option to change your course and arrive at a different conclusion. So the tarot cards actually simply reflect what the reader is always aware of, but on a hidden level. That means our subconscious, our inner being. When we find ourselves stuck in destructive or stagnant patterns, where we have confusing or like recurring dreams that we don't know why or don't know what's the message, when we simply want to know where we stand in this current spiritual journey and what our purpose in life is, we can use the tarot cards to do that. So these are very special moments the tarot can shed its light. And so like you can see the deck here lah. So this deck is it will become a common entity. It will form itself a connection with the reader that is yourself. So if you own your tarot deck, right, um, just make sure to treat it uh, like it's a very close or trustworthy companion. And so I hope now is the time that you put aside any fears about the right way to tap into this and depend on the tarot, because the tarot is a very dependable tool for deciphering advices and answers. And then you can use that to improve your life. So this is how a tarot deck looks like. So I'll use the Rider Waite lah. This is the most common tarot decks out here. So there are many beautiful decks out there. So you can see here, this is the Tarot of the Divine, and I have the Tarot of the Elves over here. So if you just go and Google, right, you can actually see a lot of beautiful decks out there. But you have to choose one deck that is that connects with you. That means the images actually mean something to you, and then there are ways to get closer to your tarot deck eventually. That is what I will cover in an online course. So what I advise for starters is that um, getting the foundations right is very important. So you have to choose the deck with the images that you actually like, because you'll be spending a lot of time looking at these images every single day. And okay, so this is the Tarot of the Divine. Actually, I just gotten it last month, and recently I just put it into the sleeve for protection. This is actually not the main deck that I use for divination, but it's actually for collection. Yeah. So what's amazing in this deck, right, is every single card that you see here, every single one, there is a background story to it. You see, so um, there is a folklore from the world, all around the world, explaining or depicting what these images actually mean. So there is actually a kind of connection that you can build with the card, especially those decks with a backstory. And okay, and also the tarot, right? There is a certain fixed structure within a tarot. There are all altogether 78 cards. So there's the court cards. There's 16 of them. So the minor arcana total, they have there's about 56 cards, 22 cards to the major arcana. Unlike oracle cards, you might find yourself googling tarot and oracle comes out, right? Oracle cards can be in any different structures, whichever way the author wants to illustrate the images to you. So some oracle decks have even 12 cards. But actually, oracle and tarot, the differences is that tarot cards may appeal to less people because of some of the imagery can be quite negative. It can be quite scary. But oracle cards are usually used more for healing. Yeah. So actually, in the tarot, the major arcana, I consider them the greatest messenger of the spiritual lessons from the universe. So they actually pass on very vital life lessons, and the universe is actually guiding us. Oh, I forgot to change the cam. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. So they actually these spiritual lessons, right? Because there are so many of them, we have to spend even a few lifetimes to learn them or master them. So let me just show you some of the major arcana cards. So I have them here. So you have the Fool, and you have the Magician, High Priestess, Empress, Emperor, etc. So you have the usually what people are scared of is the Hangman, Death, the Death card, and the Devil card. So this forms 22 cards of the major arcana. So the major arcana here, and the minor arcana is here. But all these are the structure is very easy to understand. But what is important here, right, is that it's very important to know that you have to hone your psychic abilities, your intuition. You have to have the right psychic protection to actually make the best out of the tarot deck. So because it is very important that we focus on our spiritual learning, I will be creating a Facebook Live series that's going to last 22 weeks. So what I'm going to do is that I'll be teaching on Facebook Live and posting it on YouTube once it's done. So you don't have to worry about if you cannot make it. Uh, I will be touching on each of these major arcana cards and explain it with utilizing scenes from movies or a general movie storyline to explain the spiritual lessons, because each one of this is teaching us a spiritual lesson that we have to fulfill in our current lifetime, and we can't avoid this. So whereas for the minor arcana, there are events like moving house, your wedding, changing your career. So these are events that we have an option over. We have a choice, or we have the control over. So but the major arcana cards, we can't escape them. So I hope this series will be actually more digestible, easier to understand for new learners. So these are actually supplemental resource for those engaged in the online course that I offer as well. So the universe is working in wondrous ways. It's always trying to help us. It keeps reaching out to us, and it only reach out to us when we think we are ready to receive, and we are ready to absorb this wisdom for our own consumption. So we are ready, and it shows that we are ready to help not only ourselves but help our dear friends and family, especially when your friend come to you and they are being tested with challenges in life, like a friend who is facing a breakup and things like that. So many times the tarot has helped us make the right decision in life, in our career, in our relationships, and sometimes in health. And it actually offers many ways to go about any obstacles, how to overcome them. And it's also actually let us know in advance future events that is to come. So simply by knowing is actually better than not knowing, right? So this is amazing that through the tarot, right, actually I learned about a lot of life lessons uh, in from the tarot. So lessons like humility, fairness, healing, the power of loneliness, faith, surrender. The tarot teaches us patience, when to execute them, and then teaches about death and rebirth. So there's loads of wisdom that we actually have installed in the tarot, and especially the major arcana. That's why I created the series to talk about major arcana spiritual lessons. And mm, yeah, so I actually place a lot of emphasis on the fundamentals instead of just going through the memorizing of the generic meanings of the cards, because eventually uh, you'll be reading from spreads. Okay, what is a spread? So let me show you, for example. uh, if if you guys haven't actually seen or experienced a tarot reading, so a spread, I'm just showing you down here a spread that I use quite often in my course. So this is a 3 card spread. So it actually tells the past, the recent past, the present, and the future. So this is called a spread. It's how you position the card so that it tells a story to you, or you try to communicate a lesson to you. So there are spreads that is just 1 card, and then there are spreads there's 3 cards. There's even spreads up to 10 cards, which give a lot of details. And I think I have helped a few of my friends with the 10 card spreads, and it actually took it can take up to 2 hours to perform a reading. It gives you a lot of information. Yeah, so I have on hand an online course. I've designed this course from ground up myself, and I will be providing a QR code later for a Google form to fill up or to indicate your interest. So don't worry. Um, we all want to know the events that's awaiting us in our life path, the spiritual lessons to be learned, and I encourage patience. So this is the course outline that I'm actually showing you guys here. This course is a 10-hour course. It's packed with information, and I have structured this in a way so that it's not only is easier to learn and consume. I feel this is the right way to approach the tarot. So because I have many feedback that there are people that learn the tarot but they are faced with blockages, and they get stuck because they have memorized all the 78 meanings of every card, and when the cards are spread out in the spread like I showed you just now, they can't see the meaning, or they can't uh, understand the messages, which basically defeats the purpose of the tarot, right? So therefore I spent a majority of this 10 hours right in this course emphasizing on the preparation. So the preparation is some things that actually include your psychic development, because we have to tap on that intuition part of us to utilize the tarot and to get the most out of the tarot. And we talk about psychic protection, because these are things like a ritual, um, like things like prayers, a ritual that you can do to cleanse the deck, to cleanse yourself of with fresh energies, so that your readings won't be clouded by the previous reading. So all of this is very important, very crucial, because we have to protect ourselves, because every time we do a reading for people, there is an exchange of energy, and we are going to be um, affected by past energy. So we need to cleanse the deck of cards, the tarot decks, with fresh energies for a better reading, and also to have a shield around us, a better protection for us, so that we do not attract unwanted entities. So there are many different methods to do a reading. There's different spreads, like I told you, to answer exactly the type of questions being asked. So general questions like love reading, a simple life reading, or a question on career. Should I take this career? Should I take that career? So all these spreads will answer specifically that kind of questions and sieve out the details pertaining to your question type. And also additionally, I input a Western astrology into the course because we also try to tackle readings from various angles. So to add another layer of um, detail to your reading, so we can extract more details within the message. So this actually transcends our usual zodiac signs. So like for an Aries, we always know Aries characters is a natural leader. They are always finding challenges to break through and things like that. So what can you tell if you draw a card that's related to the Aries? It could mean you could use the help of someone that's an Aries, or you could be like an Aries to overcome a certain obstacle. So these are an example of how whatever advanced Western astrology will cover in the course. So a great emphasis is also placed on honing your own psychic ability so that you can tap on your intuition instead of very generic memory work. So when I started out learning myself, I wish someone actually told me about this approach, because when I first bought my first deck of tarot cards, I went to memorize. I memorized all the meanings in the guidebook, and then when the messages are placed in front of me, I can't string a story together to deliver the message. But then eventually, I realized that I have to use that kind of feeling the images give me, and then that kind of feeling is your intuition, and this is how the universe actually communicates with me. That's why just now I mentioned it's going to be some kind of hard work because it takes time to build up your intuition. It's not going to happen overnight. So we focus a lot on this intuitive approach because we are tapping into resources actually provided by the spiritual world. So the generic questions on love, career, and general readings will also be covered because most of the people or most of the clients I have are all asking about these three main topics or these three main questions. So how to answer them and how to decipher them from each card and what it means exactly in different questions in different contexts. So all this will be covered. And lastly, there is going to be continuous learning because it's hugely encouraged, because tarot learning is not just a 3 hour course or 10 hour course can just make you from beginner to masters. So I will facilitate this Facebook group for future learnings. After the course is completed, all the Q&A will be in the Facebook group. So future new students that come in, they can go and check out previous questions. And also we encourage that in the course it's vital to share readings and share interpretations. That means let's say I do a reading for my friend, and I gave my friend this message. So I post it onto a Facebook group and I say, hey, this is what I told you. This is what I told my friend. Is this correct? Is this the correct way to interpret? And then all of us will come in and tell you what our interpretation is, whether it matches yours or not. So these are training that we actually need before we proceed to the outside world for professional readings, because um, learning tarot actually confidence is very important. Because I have some students that come to me and say, hey, well, it's very difficult. I tried, and the cards really don't make sense to me. Doesn't really tell me anything. So there is also preparation in how to deal with these blockages in the course. That's why a lot of focus is on preparation instead of generic meanings. Because generic meanings is very easy. You can just go and memorize it, and then you can find on the internet. You could just go and Google. You find a lot of meanings, but then all these meanings, when you need to string them together, is a different level. So this is all about the course. The QR code is linked to the Google form to uh, register your interest in the online course. Also, you can indicate your interest in attending our future Facebook live shows that we have planned out. So these Facebook live shows, right? I will be couple it with some sharings from various masters of the field, and some Q&A, not only on tarot stuff, but also there are many systems out there in the market that is like even pertaining to Chinese metaphysics. So as mentioned before, okay, this is the QR code to register. So feel free to register now. You just leave in your contacts number, and then uh, the team will contact you. So as mentioned before, every Saturday will be the movies night with the major arcana cards. So the main spiritual lesson, the main focus of the tarot will be shared here. And every Wednesday evening, there will be a sharing session in a more general perspective. So it's pertaining to anything within the spiritual space. And these are all free, by the way. So we will talk about, sometimes we will share about 八字, about feng shui. And if I come across or we come across some good meditation videos on YouTube, and then we can talk about it. We can share what kind of crystals is good for protection, for healing, and then what is a better way to hone your psychic abilities, things like that. So if you feel a lot of interest in developing or going or starting your spiritual journey down here, so feel free to register your interest in the Google form, and also to register for the online course. There will be so if you register right now until 6th of October, there is an introductory offer for you. So it will be $100 off the usual price. So the only offer, so don't miss out. Yeah. So indicate in your form the interest to sign up, and we will contact you with the process. So okay, a mind once open never loses. So we welcome you to the start of your spiritual journey, and thanks so much for the time. I think I took more than an hour. So we hope to see you again. I hope this session has been engaging, and it has. I hope it has clear off some of the certain reservations you might have of the spiritual world, and then actually help boost your understanding. So I also hope that today's session actually open up your mind for future brand new experiences in the spiritual world. So all the best, and see you again in the next live session. So though Facebook live, I can't really see your faces, but yeah, see you in the next live session. Yeah. So I'll be staying back here for a while for any Q&A, any questions you might have regarding the course, or any feedback. You can fill it in the Google form. So take care and all the best, and see you soon. Thank you. Oh, I'm having some problem. Oh, Facebook is saying. So yeah, so $100 off today only So we'll officially introduce. So we got a question asking when will we start this course. So I'll officially release this course on 6th of October. I have finished preparing the content, so there is just uh, some small thingy like regarding the structure and all this stuff that I need to plan. So yes, yeah. So 6th October. Hey, Aaron, you're here. What type very fast? Yeah. Also, the Facebook video I will be posting it on the YouTube channel. So those who missed it, probably you have some friends that you would like to listen. I will. You can link them to the YouTube channel so they can check out and learn something. So all these Facebook Live sessions, I will be posting it on YouTube as well. And actually, I'm considering whether to shift to Zoom instead of Facebook Live. At least I can see some faces instead of talking to the PowerPoint. Yeah. So the video is okay, right? So anyone has any questions before I close off the video?